like we're on, Alan.
Can you hear me? Sorry for the delay, folks. Technology. I want to thank my good friend Paul from Denver who helped me set up this live stream. Paul and I have been good friends for probably 10 years now. He's also a MyLapse timer based out of the Denver area, and he's a technology whiz, and he's taken the time to teach me to do this, which I really appreciate. I want to thank everyone for coming out, braving the cold, come out to our annual meeting and our Hall of Fame induction. It's an honor for me to be the Hall of Fame coordinator and to be able to work with the Hall of Fame members to nominate individuals and then vote on them for the induction. Looking out in the audience, I see a few of our Hall of Fame members are with us this year. Jose is here, Tom, Darren, Gary, and myself. If any other Hall of Fame members are here, please raise your hand. Okay, our other Hall of Fame members, the Hall of Fame was established in 2004, and the first group to go in was Frank Perrone, Jill Garlock, John Peterson, John Thomas, Carlene Erickson Harrell, Mick Freeman, and Nancy McCormick. And in 2005, Bob Garcia, Chuck Cooper, Craig Christians. 2006, Mike Ewald, Tim Hendricks, Todd Knott. 2007, Dick Burrows, Gary Julin, Leonard Vavra. 2008, Alan Higley, Gary Meyer. 2009, B-Sides, Cliff Cardhauser, Lou Suka. Lou was previously our Hall of Fame coordinator, and he's the one that set all of this up and has really been a valuable resource. John Hawkins, Stan Shirk were in 2010, Greg Carlberg, Jimmy Hall in 2011, Ron Baker and Aaron Sullivan in 2012, Gary Wasserman, Jim McMahon in 2013, Ron Olson, Roxy Erickson, 2014, Darren Conda, Tom Whitaker, 2015, Jose Badia and Tim Dooling, 2016, Harvey Kuntz and Tony Jones, 2017, Nancy Sutton Moss and Christy Nielsen, 2018, John Eggers, Glenn Moss, and Tom Cody in 2019. And I have the privilege of announcing the winners for the 2020 class. First one is here. Ann Medeiros is going in as a competitor and volunteer. Ann got started running a bit later in life than most, but has been on top of the masters running in her 50s, 60s, and 70s on the local, regional, and national stage. At local races like the No Frills Racing Series and Downhill Mile, she is a multiple age group record holder. In the No Frills Series, she holds every single age group record except one from age 50 mark set in 1994 to the age 73 mark set in 2017. Her age-graded marks are consistently near the 80% mark, which is considered national class. There's a way of age-grading results to kind of level the playing field. 60% is considered local elite. 70% is considered regional elite. 80% is considered national elite. 90% is considered world class, world elite. So Ann is in that national class group based on her performances as when they take the age grading based on age. She has run the Boston Marathon and many other nationwide events on several occasions into her 70s. Ann is a frequent age group champion and a great ambassador for the Omaha running community. She can be frequently seen assisting the ORC at packet pickup and in many other volunteer roles. Because of her longevity and outstanding record as a Masters athlete, her role as an ambassador throughout national races and her spirit of giving back at local races, and is an excellent addition to the Omaha Running Club. Anne, congratulations. We will have plaques for our award winners. We're blaming it on COVID that they're not here. We could do that for another year and a half, I think. Our second presentation, and one of the members of the team happens to be with us. This is a team award, which is the first time we've done this. But I think any of you who've been around the Omaha Running Club scene for any length of time will appreciate this. Originally formed in 1996 for that year's Bryan Ride, that's the bike ride across Nebraska, the Beam team consisted of a loose-knit group who had met at bike rides and runs in the Omaha area. There were about 25 original members who chose their own Beam name. The names ran from String, Navy, Lima, Chili, all the way to Human, Howya, and Judge Roy. They participated in many area events ranging from the Omaha Riverfront Marathon to the Missouri River Rafters Regatta. They still participate in events and meet for weekly bike rides. However, they're probably best known for their volunteer efforts at local events. The Beam team has been volunteering at Omaha Running Club events for many years, from packet assembly to water stops and many jobs in between. They've been a fixture at the Chiller Challenge, serving runners and volunteers hot soup, chili, salads, and desserts for longer than most of us have been running. They arrive early, stay late, until the last pot and utensil has been washed and put away. In 2015, when the Heartland Marathon needed some assistance serving the post-race hot dogs and other snacks, the Beam team stepped forward and has greeted every finisher and volunteer with a smile ever since. Over the years, the Beam team has had many members. Carol, Lima, and Ken, String, Beeman, have been the driving force behind the Beam team since the early days. With assistance from current active members Trudy, Chili, Frank, Human, Perone, Gloria, Castor, Don, Navy, Glissman, Levon, Jumping, Folkers, and Leonard, Howya, Fuchsa, John, Judge Roy, Hardigan, Mariana, Kona, Phipps, Mariana happens to be with us, Aaron, Red, Sullivan, Ernest, Haz, Madison, and Fran, Jelly, and Bo, Snap, Jerka, and the late Leonard, Refried, Barbara, Bev, Coffee, Madison, and Ben, Soy, Phipps. The Beam team has provided valuable volunteer support to the Omaha Running Club and the community that it serves for over 3 decades. They deserve to be in the Omaha Running Club Hall of Fame. And our last inductee, Anne Ringline, is a race organizer and volunteer. Anne's commitment to the pursuit of an ideal competition has taken her through several avenues. A national level runner in her own right, as well as a coach at Nebraska Wesleyan and as a mentor to beginning runners, Anne has been a fixture in the local running community for years. Perhaps the biggest contribution Anne has provided to our running community is her role as race director and advisor to race directors in many Lincoln Track Club events, organizing 3 races each year at the Lincoln Running Company Mile. Last year, an age group record was set by a 75-year-old. Buffalo Run, which is Lincoln's oldest race, and the Holiday Run, which benefits the Capital Humane Society. Most people do not direct one event, let alone 3 every year. 2 of the 3 races were the only live Lincoln Track Club events to happen in 2020. She utilized all of her race director, volunteer, and participant skill sets and experience to meet the over-the-top requirements dictated by the Lincoln-Lancaster County Health Department. Anne's mantra has always been, "Guys, we can do this," and she has proven it repeatedly. Although her long-term significant contributions may not be specific to the Omaha running community, they certainly have provided avenues for many area runners to compete in well-established events. In her role as race director, athlete, coach, Lincoln Track Club vice president, and store manager for the Lincoln Running Company, Ann has had the opportunity to encounter, work with, and engage with many different individuals and organizations. Working in connection with all these stakeholders, Ann has been instrumental in increasing access to and expanding fitness-based opportunities in Lincoln. Jumping at any chance to promote running when it would be easy to say enough is enough, it's safe to say that no single individual has had the impact on endurance pursuits in the city of Lincoln and possibly the state of Nebraska. Ann Ring Lion has shaped distance running in Nebraska for at least 2 generations. The Omaha Running Club recognizes and appreciates all Ann has done for the sport of running in Nebraska. Thank you. Thank you. We welcome them all to the Omaha Running Club Hall of Fame. As I said, the plaques are delayed. We will get those to the individuals, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Quick story about Lou Suka. Got an email from Lou last week. Lou lived in Omaha for probably until 2012 full-time, and then he and his wife sold their home, moved to Florida, and ever since they lived in Florida. They came back and forth to Nebraska for a while. They've been full-time Floridians for the last probably 3 years. Lou has run 50 races per year since 1980. I don't know that many of us in this room have run 50 races in our lifetime. Lou is a little bit disappointed this year because he actually had to go virtual for several of those races in order to achieve 50, but he was able to do it. In addition to that, he's picked up golf, and he claims that he's gotten 4 hole-in-ones this past year. I think some of those were also virtual. Thank you.
We're a minute or two early here, but I think we'll go ahead and do the annual meeting. In accordance with the notice sent to each member of record on January 4th, 2021, this will constitute the annual meeting of members of the Omaha Running Club. I have here a copy of the minutes from last year's annual meeting on February 2, 2020. I will leave it here on the edge of the stage. If anybody is interested in coming up and having a look at it, you're welcome to do so. The only matter to come before the meeting this year is the election of directors and officers. In accordance with the balloting that was held this morning, the following have been elected. Director and President Tom Whitaker, Director and Vice President Darren Conda. Darren is also our, well, what can I say about Darren? Everything. He's our course director, our equipment manager, just an absolutely tremendous performer. For director and secretary, Manny Kennedy. Manny does all of our social networking and correspondence from everybody who sends in any kind of question. Manny gets it and takes care of it. Director and treasurer, Tim Lenz. Tim handles our club, Omaha Running Club treasury, and also our Heartland Marathon treasury. He pays all our bills and keeps all the numbers in line, and makes sure the president doesn't make off with any of the money, which is a good thing. Director Jill Banaszak, who is also Go-Girl Run race director. John Hall, over here. I think we all know John. I think he deserves a huge round of applause as our volunteer coordinator, the guy who gets everybody out for all of our events, regardless of the weather, regardless of the jobs. John gets busy and always fills everything. So, John, you're very certainly deeply appreciated, that's for sure. And also the director, Marty Ertz, our IT expert here who is giving us some advice on some of the things that we do. That constitutes the annual meeting of the Omaha Running Club, and therefore is adjourned. I also, while I'm up here, I would like to talk about another group of individuals that are very, very important to us, and that is a group we call advisors. And some of them are here today. We're glad for that. First one, of course, is Alan Higley, who we just demonstrated his value of what he does to the club, our head race timer and Hall of Fame coordinator. John Fye, over here, our newsletter editor, professional reporter with the Omaha World Herald, has done a fabulous job on our newsletter. We have achieved national recognition from the Road Runners Club of America for the quality of our newsletter. And John just does a fabulous job, and we're deeply grateful for him. Derek Fye, who is our Jim McMahon track meet race director, we are planning to put that on this year, as you'll hear a little bit here pretty soon. Darren's going to come up and talk about the things that we're going to try to do this year. Christy Nielsen is going to be our distance training clinic leader this year. We are going to try to put on the distance clinic later on this year when we figure out how we can do it safely. We're not going to find a better leader than Christy for that event, certainly. A three-time Olympic marathon trials runner, a great runner, has a doctorate in physical therapy, and besides that, she's just a really great person. Also an advisor, Jeremy Califf, who is the Step Into Running coordinator, who does our women's training program in the summertime. We also are, of course, going to try to do that as well this year. Kelly Sweet, who is our design consultant, who comes up with a lot of our race logos and t-shirt designs and so on. Very, very great job she does for us as well. Senor Jose Medillo, our club photographer, who's been here taking photos for us today, and looking forward. Jose's done some great work in the past, photoing some of our events, and has agreed to take on the full-time assignment as club photographer. So very, very grateful for that. Gracias, Senor. And Vanessa Erbach, who is our trail cleanup coordinator. So we're very, very grateful to have those folks to help us out. They all do a very great job. So we're going to have Darren come up now and talk to us about what it is we're actually going to try to do this year. Again, thank all of you for turning out today. We certainly do appreciate your support.
All right. Let's get this thing working. Excellent. Really glad that everyone could come out today. It's a little bit smaller group, maybe a little less energy than what we would normally have on a normal Chiller Challenge day, but it's still great to be out here. For anyone who did the fun run today, you probably realized exactly why the decision was made yesterday, with the trail being essentially 4 to 6 inches of snow, with blowing snow out there. Probably one of the biggest concerns on the planning side was really, if someone were to fall down on the far edge out there, the wind temperatures, or the wind speeds would have picked up like they were anticipated in the forecast. We'd have about 12 to 15 minutes to go rescue that person before they can physically get, some serious frostbite. The person running back from the far end, 5 to 6 minutes to get back here. That means we only have about 4 or 5 minutes to physically get out there and get that person back in. So we're battling with that really dangerous system, and also with Public Works being really stressed from the last significant snowfalls and such, that trails, as you saw today, not the priority. Emergency routes to the hospitals and such, definitely more of a priority. So that's why the decision was made yesterday to essentially not proceed with the actual timed run. And in addition to that, Alan as our timer, with the equipment and such, and just the the risk to that electronic equipment out there in really significantly inclement weather, made the decision to essentially cancel. But glad that everyone's here today for this part. We do have an exciting year as we're kind of getting away from maybe possibly from COVID-19 and being able to find new ways of doing stuff with social distancing, spreading out, doing mask wearing, all those different things, all those different little pieces to make that physically work. So we hope that we'll be able to return to some of our public trail cleanups, those kind of things here in the early spring. Hopefully that'll be able to be back out there. We really intend to bring back our Fun Run series. Possibly our first one is looking at like the May time frame, once we can beat outside, stay socially distanced, and not be jammed inside into a little bar or pub or something afterwards for when we're bringing like tons of people from all different areas that you normally don't interact with. So we're fortunate that we should be able to do that come the May time frame. We're waiting for a little bit of guidance for a number of our events that are coming up, like the Road to Omaha Run in connection with the NCAA, and as our first event that we hope, as you heard from Tom, hope to plan and host on here with Derek Vye being the race coordinator, is the Jim McMahon Open Track Meet. That is scheduled for June 12th right now. That time is pending, and we have not gotten final approval yet from Westside High School, but it looks very, very promising. With schools essentially returning to full in-class, spring sports going on, so the likelihood of being able to do the track meet might be a very, very, very high possibility right now. That's the way it's looking right now. Bumping into the August timeframe, we have the Lake Wearspan Run. That'll be, we're pretty confident with the size of that event that even with COVID and such, an outdoor meeting that we demonstrated last year, actually that was the kickoff of Tube Running again last year, was the Lake Wearspan Run. As our first event back through, we were actually very instrumental in helping Douglas County and Sarpy County and the city of Omaha essentially kind of bring back some of those public events with some of the very limited protocol that we actually put together. Alan and Tom took time to meet with the Douglas County Health Director, and one of the things that the first thing on their response was like, we don't even really know exactly what happens at one of these road races or one of these smaller trail type races. So it was really beneficial that we were actually able to help guide some of that, be able to do some of the events, which allowed for Heartland Marathon, Go Girl Run, all of those type of events to actually occur late last fall. So it was good to be able to do that and see that on that piece. But before we jump all the way to the middle of the summer, hopefully if weather conditions allow and such, we will hopefully be doing a spring volunteer appreciation dinner, picnic, possibly with a run. Hopefully we'll know that in March time frame, and that most likely be in an April-May time frame. Right now we tentatively have a date on the calendar officially for it, let me just pull it up here, to be Saturday, April 24th, but that's still not 100% yet at this point. So that's one of the charges of the board, to try to make that determination as to if we'll be able to go forward. September will be a very, very, very busy month for races with Go Girl Run, Peak to Peak, and Heartland Marathon. So anyone out there that for our area wants to do the longer distance, definitely Heartland will give you that opportunity to do either the marathon distance, the half marathon distance, or as a number of the team members I see here, to do the actual relay for the Heartland Marathon. And then wrap up the final of the year with runs for Omaha Running Club, probably the end of October, the Bones Run, and essentially you can bring out your unique Halloween themed items, and end of October will bring us towards that. So other exciting stuff that we do hope to happen this year is just the opportunity to do a number of different like social events, and just to get people back into running, meeting in some of the different locations such as Peak Performance, Fleet Feet, and other just informal trail groups that meet very, very regular, trail running and street that meet very regularly. So hopefully most of those will start to return, and we'll be on our way. So. Does anyone have any questions for the board or anything here for the board members that are there as part of just to try to interact? If there's any questions, we'll try to field those, or Tom's available at the area over there, or Mandy or Tim. Definitely, do not hesitate to ask if you've got a great opportunity, or if you want to have that opportunity to volunteer, which has been a key thing to making even the smaller event work today. It's fun. Chiller Challenge is probably the event that we really don't have people think that I'm kind of in charge of part of it, but really it's like a whole bunch of people that just put it all together. John pretty much like single-handedly gets all the volunteers put together for it. Tom and Ellen take care of all of the timing. Mandy coordinates a ton of the shirt stuff. Tim takes care of a bunch of the financial stuff. We get a bunch of the courses put together, and then a ton of volunteers show up day of, carry all the stuff in, label all the t-shirts, do all those things, and it's just like a smooth-oiled machine. It's truly the members' race of what it is. So with that, thank you guys all for being here, and we'll talk to you very, very soon. Thanks. Chiefs, go Chiefs.
Good to see you. Amen.
If anyone needs an extra sandwich, there are extra sandwiches. Those are available for you to eat today when you're prepping for